The space station floated above Saturn, shining like a silver crown in the black sky. It was called Unity Point, the largest meeting place ever built by humans and aliens together. Inside the Great Hall, leaders from more than 50 planets were sitting around a long glowing table. Some had wings, some had horns, some were made of pure light. But all of them were here for the same reason: peace. It was the first intergalactic council with Earth as a full member. The humans had worked hard to earn respect in the galaxy. Now they were finally here, among the great powers of the stars. Captain Leo stood near the back, wearing a dark blue uniform with silver stars on his shoulders. He was a decorated space officer, known for his bravery in the Mars conflicts. But today, he was just an observer, just watching, silent, proud, and calm. Then the doors opened, the hall went quiet, the air became cold, everyone turned to look. She walked in slowly, tall, graceful and strange. Her skin was silver and seemed to glow. Her eyes were bright blue and had no pupils. Her long black cloak moved like smoke behind her. This was Empress Vera of Phalaxon, ruler of one of the oldest and most powerful empires in the galaxy. Nobody dared speak. She didn't smile. She didn't bow. She just took her seat without saying a word. The meeting began. Peace agreements were signed. Trade routes were discussed. Everyone was happy. The war between two alien races had finally ended after years of bloodshed. Then the human ambassador stood up and smiled. "Thank you, Empress Vera, for your support in these talks," he said. "Earth is honored to have you with us." Vera finally spoke. Her voice was deep and smooth. It echoed through the hall like wind through metal. "I do not give support for free," she said. The smile on the ambassador's face slowly faded. Everyone watched her carefully. "I have one request," she said. The room went still. "What kind of request?" the ambassador asked, trying to stay calm. "I want a gift," she said. "What kind of gift?" he asked again. Vera stood up slowly. Her glowing eyes moved across the room. She raised one hand and pointed. "I want a human," she said. "That is my price." The words hit the room like thunder. Whispers filled the air. The ambassador looked confused. "A human? Why? What do you mean?" Vera didn't answer. Her eyes locked on one person. Captain Leo. She pointed directly at him. "Him," she said. "I want him." Leo froze. His heart started to beat faster. He looked around, thinking it must be a mistake. The ambassador spoke. Again, "Captain Leo is a military officer, not a gift." Vera didn't blink. "He is what I want," she said. "Refuse me, and I will leave the council." Everyone panicked. If she left, the peace deal would collapse. The other alien races would return to war. Thousands, maybe millions would die. Leo stepped forward. Slowly, he was a soldier, trained to protect. He looked at the ambassador, then at Vera. "Why me?" he asked. Vera smiled for the first time, but it was not a kind smile. "Because you are the one I choose," she said. "No other reason is needed." The ambassador turned to Leo. "We can say no," he said, "but it could start another war." Leo took a deep breath. His mind was racing. Why did she want him? What was she planning? Was this a trap or something else? He looked up at Vera again. "I will go," he said. The room gasped. Vera nodded slowly. She turned and walked away, her cloak floating behind her. Without another word, she left the hall. Two guards came forward, not human, but tall and silent. They gestured for Leo to follow. He did, without looking back. As the doors closed behind him, no one spoke. No one knew what was about to begin. And no one understood why the alien woman wanted a human, or why she had chosen him. The ship was alive. Captain Leo stood in the center of a quiet chamber, surrounded by glowing walls that pulsed like breathing skin. There were no windows, no control panels, no visible engines, just endless smooth surfaces that shimmered in dark colors, violet, blue, and black. It didn't feel like a machine. It felt like something watching him. He had been inside Empress Vera's ship for only a few minutes, but already he felt like time had stopped. Two tall alien guards, faceless, armored, and silent, had brought him here. Then they disappeared. No one spoke to him. No one explained anything. He tried calling Earth Command. His communicator buzzed, then went dead. No signal, no escape, no answers. Then the walls shifted. A doorway melted open without sound. Empress Vera entered. Her cloak was gone. She wore a strange black suit that moved like smoke over her skin. Her silver face glowed softly in the dark. Leo stayed still. He was a soldier, trained for fear. But this was something else. Something far older and more powerful than war. Vera looked at him with eyes like blue fire. "You are quiet," she said. "You don't beg. You don't ask." "I was taught to wait," Leo said. "And watch," Vera nodded slowly. "I like that," she said. "Humans talk too much." She walked closer. Leo didn't move. "Why did you choose me?" He asked again. "The council wanted peace," she said. "I wanted curiosity." "That's not an answer," Leo replied. Vera smiled. Her teeth were sharp, like crystal. "Then you are asking the wrong questions." The wall shifted again. Stars appeared. Suddenly, Leo could see out into space. Stars, galaxies, glowing gas clouds moving across the black. The ship was already far from Earth, far from home. "You stole me," Leo said quietly. "I claimed you," she corrected. "There is a difference." Leo turned to her, his voice calm but firm. "I'm not yours." Vera stepped close enough that he could feel the cold from her skin. "Not yet," she whispered. "But soon. You will be more than you are now." Before Leo could speak, the floor beneath him changed. It rose into a chair, smooth, comfortable, but not human-made. He was guided into it without force. He sat, confused, alert. Vera walked to a console. Made of living wires and bone, she touched it. And strange sounds filled the air, like singing whales mixed with thunder. The ship was preparing for a long jump. "Where are we going?" Leo asked. Vera didn't turn. She placed her hand on the console and said, "To my world?" "Why?" "To show you," she said, "what I was, what I am, and what you must become." The ship jolted, space twisted, colors folded, and in a flash of silent light, they were gone. Leo held the sides of the chair, breathing deeply. His body felt heavy, then light, then cold. Time bent. His thoughts blurred, and then silence again. When he opened his eyes, they were no longer in space. Outside the ship, a giant black planet floated in the void. It had no sun, only thin rings of blue. Light wrapped around its edges like a crown. The surface moved like water or shadows, that is Thalaxon. Vera said, "My home. It looks dead." Leo said. Vera stared out the window. "No," she whispered. "It is dreaming." The ship began to land. Far below, alien towers rose from the surface made of bone, metal, and glass. The city pulsed with silent energy. Strange lights, floating creatures, symbols carved into the air. Leo felt a pressure in his chest, like gravity pulling on his heart. This place was not meant for humans, and yet it called to him. Vera looked at him again, her voice soft, almost kind. "You will learn why I chose you," she said. "You will learn what humans have forgotten." "What's that?" Leo asked. Vera stepped away, disappearing into the shadows. And her voice echoed through the chamber, that we were never alone. The sky was black, not dark, not cloudy, but truly black. As if the stars had been swallowed, as if night had no end. Captain Leo stood on a tall stone balcony. The air was thin and cold. Above him, strange winged shapes circled slowly. Below, the alien city of Thalaxon pulsed with quiet life. The buildings were not built, they were grown. Tall towers of bone and glass twisted upward like frozen lightning. Bridges moved by themselves. Lights floated in the air, and walls whispered secrets and voices only the wind could hear. Leo had never seen anything like this, not in any star map, not in any record from Earth or its allies. Thalaxon was ancient, older than Earth, older than war, Older than memory, behind him, a quiet voice spoke. You are not the first human to stand here. Leo turned. An old alien stood at the doorway. He was thin, covered in dark robes, and his skin shimmered like stone underwater. Who are you? Leo asked. I am the caretaker, the alien replied. I keep the memories of this place. Leo studied him carefully. He seemed peaceful, but his eyes held storms. You said I'm not the first, Leo said. What happened to the others? There was only one before you, the caretaker said. Long ago, Leo stepped forward. What did he do? The caretaker walked to the edge of the balcony. He looked out at the city, then said softly, he made her feel. Leo's chest tightened. What do you mean? She is Empress, the caretaker said. She has ruled for over 500 years. She has walked through fire and silence, through betrayal and power. And then, he continued, a human came, he laughed, he loved, and he lied. Leo's hands curled into fists. He betrayed her? The caretaker nodded. He promised her truth and gave her tricks. He took her knowledge and gave it to others. He caused a war. Leo looked away. So why am I here? He asked. The caretaker stepped closer. She chose you because you are the opposite. You hide nothing. You speak with steel, not sugar. Leo didn't feel honored. He felt like a test subject, or worse, a replacement. Suddenly the air shifted. A soft hum filled the room. And Empress Vera appeared behind them. The caretaker talks too much, she said. He bowed and left without another word. Leo turned to her. I'm not him, he said. I know, she replied. That is why you are still alive. They stood in silence for a moment. Then Vera raised her hand. Come, she said. There is something you must see. She led him down winding corridors that seemed to change behind them. Walls opened like petals, closed like eyes. They finally entered a great hall. 100 statues lined the walls. Alien warriors, queens, scholars, beasts. At the center stood one statue alone. Made of crystal and gold, it was a human male. Smiling, arms open, eyes full of charm, Leo stepped closer. Is this him? Vera nodded. I trusted him, she said. I showed him the secret path to the inner flame. The what? Leo asked. It is the heart of this world, she said. The core that gives Thalaxon life, energy, memory, power beyond physics. He tried to take it. He nearly succeeded, Vera whispered. But in the end, he was weak. Leo stared at the statue. Is that what this is? He asked. A second chance? No, she said. This is a warning. You are here because I want to know. She continued. Can humanity change? Can a human stand beside me without lying? Without breaking everything I have rebuilt? Leo stepped back from the statue, his voice calm. If you don't trust me, why bring me here? Vera turned to face him, and for the first time, her eyes looked tired. Because I am afraid, she said. Afraid I will destroy you, or believe in you. Then the floor opened, and Leo saw it. Below them was a deep glowing pit, blue, shifting. Alive, the inner flame. It feels alive, Leo whispered. It is, Vera said. It remembers every choice ever made on this planet. She turned to him. Tomorrow you will enter it. Leo looked at her in shock. Why? To see what you really are, she said, and to show you what waits inside you. Asterisk Captain Leo stood at the edge of the pit. Blue light swirled below like a living ocean. It didn't burn. It shimmered. It didn't roar. It whispered, and yet it felt dangerous, like stepping into someone's dream. Empress Vera stood beside him. Her cloak gently moved in the strange wind rising from the pit. This is not a weapon, she said. It is a mirror. Leo looked at the glow beneath him. What will I see? Your truth, she replied. Not the one you show. The one you hide, even from yourself. The alien guards placed their hands on his shoulders. Not to push him, but to steady him. He took one breath, then stepped forward. The moment his feet touched the light, the world shattered. The floor vanished. The sky blinked out, and everything became silence. Then he opened his eyes. He was standing on Earth, but not real Earth, a dream version. The sky was green, the buildings were upside down. His childhood home floated in the air like a balloon. Leo blinked. He was wearing his old military jacket. Stained with blood, he looked down. His hands were shaking. "What is this?" he whispered. A voice echoed around him. "Memory." He turned. There was a boy standing in front of him, small, scared, with wide eyes. It was him. A younger version, maybe 10 years old. "Why did you leave?" the boy asked. "You promised." Leo stepped back. "I had to," he said. "There was a war." "You always run when people need you," the boy replied. "You protect planets, but you never came home." Leo looked down, ashamed. He had never told anyone how many times he avoided going back to Earth. To see his mother, to visit his brother's grave, another flash. Now he stood in the middle of a battlefield. Smoke everywhere, bodies, fire, blood. It was Mars during the worst battle of the Red Conflict. And there, across the burning road, was his old squad, all 5 of them, calling out to him, "Leo, help us." But he knew what came next. He had chosen to save the civilians instead, and his squad had died. He closed his eyes. The sound of their screams filled the air. "Why did you let us die?" He turned and shouted, "Because I couldn't save everyone." His voice cracked. Silence. Then the scene melted. He was floating in black space. Stars blinked in and out. In front of him stood a mirror, tall, silver, pulsing. Inside the mirror, he saw himself, but something was wrong. His reflection smiled. A twisted version of him, proud, cruel, godlike. "You like being chosen." The reflection said, "You want to be special." "That's not true," Leo said. "Yes, it is." The reflection whispered, "You didn't say no. You wanted her to pick you." Leo clenched his fists. He wanted to scream, to run, to wake up. But instead, he stepped forward and placed his hand on the mirror. The reflection disappeared, and suddenly, silence, then light, and then he was standing back in the chamber, on Thalaxon. His body was trembling. His skin was cold, his mind open. Empress Vera stood in front of him, watching closely. "You returned," she said. He nodded slowly. "I saw everything," he said. "All my failures, my fear, my lies. Did you break?" she asked. "No," Leo whispered. "I faced them." Vera stepped closer, and for the first time, there was softness in her voice. "Then you have passed the first gate," she said. "Now I can tell you the truth." Leo looked up at her, breathing slowly, waiting. Vera reached into the air and pulled out a sphere of blue light. It floated between them, humming. "This," she said, "is what he tried to steal." "The first human," Leo said. "Yes," she replied, "but he was not just a man. He was a message." "What message?" "That your kind," she whispered, "will either destroy us all or save what cannot be saved." Leo stared at the light. It called to him, not with power, but with memory. "Now," Vera said, "we will see which path you choose." The days passed in silence. Captain Leo wandered through Thalaxon like a ghost. The alien world never slept. The towers moved when no one touched them. The sky blinked, but never shined. Every room he entered felt like it was watching him. Every hallway whispered in a language he didn't know. Yet somehow he knew he was not alone, not just watched, followed one night. As he stood by the glowing stream that ran through the central garden, a strange shadow stepped out of the wall. She was tall and thin, covered in dark green armor that shimmered like insect wings. "You're the human," she said. Leo turned slowly. "And you're not supposed to be here," he replied. She smirked. "Neither are you." Before he could speak, she tossed him a small crystal cube. It buzzed in his hand. "Listen to it," she said. "When no one is watching, then." She vanished, melted into the wall like smoke. Leo returned to his chamber. He sat on the floor and placed the cube on the table. It opened on its own and projected a voice, cold, sharp, and familiar. "We know what she's doing," the voice said. She is testing you. She will use you, and then destroy you. More. Voices followed, deeper, angry. She is not fit to rule. She is broken. She listens to humans over her own kind. Leo's breath slowed. This was real, a rebellion, a secret movement rising within the shadows of Thalaxon. And they wanted him, another voice spoke. Calm, persuasive. You have a choice, Captain. You can help us remove her, or be buried with her when the fall begins. The message ended. Leo sat still. His hands shook. He didn't ask to be here. He didn't ask to be part of a throne war, but now he was. The next morning, the caretaker met him by the tower steps. He didn't speak for a long time, just watched the horizon. There is movement underground, he finally said. Old powers waking up. Leo looked at him. You know about the rebellion? I know everything, the caretaker said, but I am not here to stop it. Then why tell me? Leo asked. Because Vera trusts you, the caretaker replied. And trust is rare in a place like this. Leo didn't respond. His mind was a storm. Later that day, Vera summoned him. Her chamber was darker than usual. She sat on her throne. Quiet, tense. You met someone last night, she said. Leo hesitated. He could lie, he could play along, but instead, he nodded, yes. And what did they offer you? She asked. Safety, he said. Freedom and the chance to survive what's coming. Vera stood, walked slowly toward him, her voice softer than ever before. They fear me because I no longer hate, she said. They fear that I see something. In humans they never could. You're not surprised. Leo said. No, she whispered. This planet has always been ruled by fear and memory. They want the past to repeat. I want something new. Leo looked at her. What do you want? From me? Vera turned away, and for a moment, she looked less like a queen, and more like a woman who had seen too much. I want you to choose, she said. Not for me, not for them, but for yourself. That night, Leo received another message from the rebels, a meeting, a chance to join, to help lead the new order once Vera was gone. He went, in the deep tunnels below the palace. He stood before a group of masked figures, alien generals, scientists, and nobles. You have influence, one of them said. She listens to you. Use that. Leo looked at them, then at the glowing symbol carved into the stone behind them. It was old, full of war, full of power, and full of fear. He spoke clearly. If I help you, people will die. People are already dying, a voice replied. In silence, in shadows, Leo nodded. I'll think about it, he said. But as he turned to leave, one thought echoed in his mind. No matter what I choose, I'm already part of this. Asterisk. The chamber was quiet. No guards, no lights, no walls that breathed or moved, just stone cold and still. Captain Leo stood in the center. Empress Vera stood beside him, and between them, silence. He had followed her without question. No weapons, no armor, no exit behind him. This place, Vera said. It was sealed for 300 years. The walls were covered in glowing marks, symbols from a forgotten language. They moved slowly, like fireflies trapped in glass. Where are we? Leo asked. Vera looked up. This is the vault of memory. No one comes here but me. She stepped toward the center of the room and touched a stone in the floor. A blue flame rose slowly, floating, spinning, and inside it, a figure, a human, male, smiling, eyes full of charm and promise. Leo stepped back. He knew that face. The statue. From the Hall of Ancients, it was him, the first. His name was Elias, Vera said. He came to our world by accident. His ship crashed during a scout mission. She paused. He was curious, fearless, and full of wonder. He taught me to laugh, she whispered, to question power, to believe there could be more than order and rule. Leo stayed silent. I loved him, Vera said, more deeply than anything in my long life. But one day, he was gone, stolen by the very people he once called friends. They came, tricked him, used him. They wanted the secrets he had found here. Her voice darkened. He gave them everything. The energy fields, the flame gates, the pulse crystals, and they left nothing behind but ash. Leo looked down. I'm sorry, he said quietly. I don't need your pity. Vera replied, I need your truth. She turned toward him. Her eyes burned like twin stars. When I saw you on that station, I saw something I thought was lost. Honor. Leo clenched his jaw. I'm not perfect, he said. I've done things I regret. That's why you were chosen, Vera said. Because you carry your past. Not like a weapon, but like a weight. She raised her hand. The flame changed. Now it showed images, wars, peace talks, betrayals, victories, and losses, scenes. From Earth, from Leo's life, from the galaxy's long bloody history. Do you know why so many fear humans? She asked. Because we grow fast. Leo said. Because we challenge things. No, Vera said. They fear you because you refuse to stay broken. You fall, you rise, you fall again. And you keep moving forward. That is not weakness. That is dangerous. Leo stepped closer to the flame. And you? What are you afraid of? Vera looked away, of believing again. For centuries, I ruled with fear. She said, it was safe, it was quiet. But you are noise. Leo smiled slightly. Good noise or bad noise? She laughed, a small sound, soft and human. Then her voice turned serious. There's something you must know. She stepped forward and placed her hand on his chest. You carry more than your past. You carry a code, old, buried, hidden deep in your blood. Leo blinked. What kind of code? Genetic memory, she said. Elias left it before he died. Leo felt his heart race. I don't understand. You will, Vera said. They will come for you. Because inside you is the key to something even I do not fully control. What key? He asked. To the source, she whispered. To the energy that feeds this planet. Feeds the ships, feeds the stars. Leo stepped back. You're saying I'm a target? Vera nodded. And a weapon. Silence returned, heavy and sharp. What do I do now? Leo asked. She walked past him, toward the exit. You decide, she said. Do you trust me, or do you trust the ones hiding in the dark? Before she disappeared into the hallway, she added one last thing. The rebellion is not the real threat. They are just noise. The real danger is waking, and it's looking for you. The sky cracked, lightning without clouds, thunder without sound, and from the blackness above, Thalixon. They arrived, massive ships, black and red, shaped like blades. They tore through the atmosphere like falling stars, and inside them, the real enemy. Not rebels, not politics, but something older, something forgotten. Captain Leo stood on the highest tower, wind cut across his face. Below, the city lights were turning off, one by one. They are called the Hollow, Vera said beside him. Long ago they were my kind. Now they are shadows in armor. They feed on memory, she whispered. They come when a world forgets who it is. Leo looked at her. Why now? Because they found what I tried to hide, she said. Rebels had disappeared. The throne room was silent. Even the caretaker was gone. Only Leo remained, and Vera, and the choice. A glowing cube floated between them, humming, ancient, the genetic key. The code Elias had buried in Leo's bloodline. Activate it, Vera said. And you will wake the planet. The flame will rise, the city will fight. But you will burn. Leo stared at the cube. I die? He asked. Vera nodded. Your body cannot hold the energy. Silence again. Always silence. Leo took a step back. There has to be another way. There is, she said. You give it to me. She held out her hand. I was made for it. I can carry the flame, but if I do, I will lose who I am. Leo understood. She would live, but forget. Forget Elias, forget Earth, forget him. He looked down at the cube. It pulsed faster. The hollow ships were closing in. Black rain began to fall. Time was running out. Leo remembered the vision from the inner flame. The girl in the ashes, The broken future. The voice that had whispered. You left us. He turned to Vera. Her eyes were steady. She was ready to die or to forget, but not to run. And in that moment, he knew the truth. This wasn't about sacrifice. It was about legacy. He took the cube. It glowed like a star in his hands. He stepped forward and placed it in her palm. You live, he said. Even if you forget me. Her eyes widened. You would give me this? Leo smiled softly. I'm human. He said, that's what we do. She pressed the cube to her chest. A surge of light exploded across the sky. The towers lit up like veins. The ground shook. The hollow screamed in orbit. Vera fell to her knees. Memories poured from her eyes like tears. 1,000 years of pain, love, loss gone, and then silence. Leo stood alone. The flame was lit. The hollow fled. The world was saved. But she didn't know his name. Not anymore. Weeks passed. Leo stayed on Phalixon, quietly watching over her. She ruled again, strong, wise, powerful, but distant. They spoke, but only of the stars. Not of fire, not of love. One evening, as the sunless sky shimmered with stardust, she sat beside him by the glowing river. I had a dream last night. She said, I saw a man in blue. He made me laugh. He made me feel. Leo looked at her, his voice barely a whisper. Maybe dreams remember what we forget. She didn't answer, but for a moment, her hand brushed his, and the stars seemed to move. The galaxy would remember Captain Leo, not as a warrior, not as a savior, but as the man who reminded a broken world how to feel again.